Hello, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing another budgeting video. And I know what you guys are thinking, like, Priscilla, you always do these and say that you're gonna follow up the next month and then you never do. And that's true. This time it really is different for a few reasons. One is the last few months we've had multiple weddings that, just kind of throw off our whole routine, but then also our budgeting because there's like so many events we have to like give money for or like clothes we need to buy and whatever. And yeah, I know there's always gonna be things that come up, but this month it really is different. And another reason for that is because this month I want to start a series on budgeting. I've shared before that our income right now is kind of crazy. We're kind of in like a weird transition phase where my husband is going from working for someone to working for himself. And it's just a weird transition phase, which just means that we don't really have a lot of like certainty when it comes to like how much income we'll be bringing in every month. So we're really just trying to live as frugally as possible, really not trying to be like, we have this much money to allocate, let's do it. But instead just being like, we need to live on as little as we possibly can. So that's kind of like my goal and my budget, and has led me to just want to talk about a lot of things in budgeting because I'm really just looking at our budget right now and thinking like, how can we save money in this area? How can we save money in this area? And it's given me lots of ideas for like things to share with you guys. Obviously not coming from a place of like, I'm a pro budgeter, here's some tips, but more so like, watch me try to figure it out, help me try to figure it out. So I hope that comes across clearly. And then plan is end of month, share how the budget went, and then share our plans for the next month. So let's get into it. Once again, I've shared, I like to use the budget in my penny pincher planner just to kind of keep everything in one spot. But I also have an Excel spreadsheet as well that kind of helps me like track all the expenses as they're coming in because I don't do that in here. So first thing I have that I forgot to mention last time is our church tithe. That I'm like not gonna like publicly, share our church tithe, let your giving be done in secret, all that. Going past that, the first thing I have is our mortgage, which is at $17.95. It's funny because I was listening to a podcast the other day and the guy kept pronouncing mortgage, which that's how I would say it, mortgage. He kept saying it like mortgage. Like it almost sounded like mortgage. And I just couldn't even focus on what he was saying because I just kept hearing him say mortgage. Yeah, how do you pronounce it? Anyways, skimming past all this stuff, we don't have a lot of this stuff. So then next for electricity, I always like to budget over rather than under, which I feel like is like obvious. I budgeted $200 for electricity and last month it was like $150. So I feel like $200 gives us wiggle room, but I just want to make sure that like I don't under budget. For water, I have budgeted $35. We've never gone over that. For internet and cell phone, those are $85 each. And I want to look into if I can get those down, but I don't know. Next is life insurance. I have $13.18 on there. So then that tallies up this whole side to equal $21.28. And then on this side, this is just kind of like the non-bill things. For clothing, I budgeted $50 just because I feel like there's constantly just little holes I'm noticing in my children's wardrobe, which is honestly another video that I've thought about, is doing a video showing like where I get my children's wardrobes, thrifting their wardrobe, also just like simplifying their wardrobe because some of them need to be kind of gone through right now. So let me know if you hear any of these ideas and you're like, yes, please do that. It's definitely helpful. Another thing in regards to clothing, I've shared that like I get a lot of my clothing from New Flora right now. I actually just got this dress in yesterday from New Flora. I'm an affiliate for them. I just get to use the commissions to buy clothing. That's how I'm getting my clothing. So I feel like I'm actually like totally covered. It really is like the children that are the ones that, I'm sure you guys understand. You just have to like constantly be buying clothing for. Okay, next is grocery, which I feel like, at least for us, I'm sure this is true for most people, I feel like that's where we have the most like actual ability to control our budget. Most things are kind of like set in stone, but I feel like our groceries is where we have like really opportunity to like actually save money. So I have budgeted $12.50 just because that's what I had budgeted in previous months. But I'm hoping that somehow I could get it under 1,000. Also for me, I just like categorize groceries as anything I buy at the grocery store. So for example, we buy diapers and wipes at the grocery store. For me, that's in my grocery budget. I feel like that's just easier than having to like dissect our receipt from Costco. But that is one change I'm making this year, is I'm actually going back to cloth diapering, which I feel like a few of you have already asked me like if I could do a video on that. So definitely look out for that in the future. I cloth diapered for a long time with my daughter. And then with the twins, I was like, I'm not even gonna think about it. And then with my son Draper, I did maybe like a few months. Started that again. So Sadler, my like youngest right now, he's cloth diapering. And then with this baby that we're bringing in, I plan to cloth diaper this baby too. So that's definitely like a big help to the budget, especially if you're like, you know, buying diapers every month. For now, I'm not doing cloth wipes just because we do use wipes, not even just when it comes to like, you know, changing diapers, but also if we're going to the park and I need to wipe someone's face or things like that, like wipes, I just still want to keep for now. But yeah, so that's one of the changes I'm making to hopefully lower our grocery budget. Another idea I thought of for a video is doing like Costco compared to Aldi in prices, because I know like we've shopped at Aldi for like years. Like that's where we've done most of our shopping for years. And then we'd like kind of supplement with Costco. But then over the past couple years, we've kind of drifted to mainly shopping at just Costco, because like in the past when I've compared, everything still like ounce for ounce or pound for pound is cheaper at Costco. You just have to have like very strong willpower to not buy any of like the yummy foods. At Aldi, I feel like, yeah, obviously Aldi's very cheap, but the produce is horrible. And it is kind of nice for us to be able to buy in bulk with having a large family. So I thought maybe I'd do a video like comparing, because I haven't done that in a while. I also buy from Azure Standard for our grains, and sometimes I'll get beans or like popcorn kernels. I feel like I have enough popcorn kernels to last us for the rest of our life because I got like 25 pounds. And then same for beans. I got like 25 pounds of garbanzo beans and we've like barely touched them. But our grains are like the main thing that I buy there and have to frequently buy. But I like checked today and our last order was in February. So in February, I spent $200 and I got 6 25-pound bags of grains. So I guess like 150 pounds of grains. I mean, I really only need to go 2 to 3 times a year. At most, that's $600 that I'm spending on grains a year, which would be about like 50 a month. So yeah, I'm not really like super stressed about like my Azure Standard order when it comes to my grocery budget. I'll just probably like mentally tell myself like $50 for Azure Standard, which is nice because if I'm doing $12.50 a month for groceries, that gives us like $300 per visit. And then there's the extra 50 for Azure Standard to consider. But yeah, hopefully I can do like way less than that. That's just like my max that I want to be at. I do want to be like more tight on our fresh fruit and just get apples and bananas because I feel like they're the cheapest and most filling. And then also because it's summer right now, we're getting like a lot of watermelon. So we've been getting like 3 watermelons a week, which has been like a really nice treat. And they're so cheap right now. Like one watermelon for us is like $5 right now at Costco. Another thing I'm doing for groceries is just trying to buy the cheapest proteins possible. So we're really just doing chicken right now, or maybe like ground turkey, but we're not doing any beef. We'll occasionally do pork, but yeah, that's like one of the things we focus on in our groceries too. I am buying salmon, and I shared this in a previous video, just for me, which I really hate buying things and saying it's like just for mama. But with the pregnancy, like they say that DHA is so important, and I met with a dietitian and she was reminding me. So it's either I could like eat salmon twice a week or I could supplement, and I would just much rather just eat the salmon twice a week. So I'll be having like a fillet of salmon twice a week, but honestly, like a bag from Costco would last me like maybe 6 weeks, whereas my family, it would last us 1 dinner. So it just makes sense to say like it's just for mama, as much as I hate doing that. Also, another thing with meat is in the past, my husband has been very like, you know, he just wants a certain amount of meat to fill him up. But he is kind of at a point where he's like, okay, I'm willing to let you kind of stretch the meat some. by adding things like lentils or, beans, just adding other things to kind of stretch the meat out. So I am going to be doing more of that now. And even like meatless dinners, which I don't think we do that very often, but maybe once a week, like a meatless dinner. We made a lentil curry this past week and it was so good. And he actually loved it. So I think we're going to do more things like that in our budget now as well. And then another change we're making is I would go to Costco, and it's like our Saturday morning dates that I've shared about many times, and I'll take one child with me. It used to be like for our date, we would go to a coffee shop and each get like a coffee, or I'd let them get like an omelet or something like that. But then I was like, okay, we probably shouldn't like be doing that every Saturday. So then we switched to like, when we go to Costco, I'll let you pick out like a treat for the family for the week. So usually it would be like the Simple Mills cookies or, a bag of chips or something like that. And now I'm like, okay, let's cut that out too. But honestly, I love the change we're making. So now instead of doing that, they'll get to like pick out a recipe with me, and then we'll go home and just make whatever recipe they picked out. So last time it was Draper. We went to the store and he said that he wanted to make ice cream. So then we just went home. We bought some heavy whipping cream, which was like $3 for the thing. Would make like 2 things of ice cream for our family. So we went home, made ice cream together. And I think that was honestly a lot more fun than just like letting them pick out some packaged snack at the store. So I'm excited about that change. And then also when it comes to things like snacks, we've never been a huge snack family, but there were some months that we get like the healthy chips from Costco, or letting the kids pick out a snack whenever it's their date. But instead of doing that, just really focusing on like, you can have an apple, a banana, or like we could make popcorn. And I feel like those are all really cheap snacks, but also like they do the job and they're delicious, especially popcorn. I love popcorn. And then another thing kind of along the lines of like our grains, I feel like they're like an underrated superfood. I don't know the actual definition of a superfood, but I just feel like when you mill your grains at home, it is just so healthy and packed more fully of like protein and fiber and nutrients and all of that. So I really just want to like be on it with having some type of fresh milled thing stocked in our freezer or just made frequently, so then my children can like grab for that as well. And it also makes like, mornings a lot easier if we're like going out somewhere to have like bagels prepared in the freezer already or something like that. So maybe that's another video idea I'll do soon, is just, well, one, like showing us grocery shopping, showing the groceries we get each week for our family, but then also showing like prepping fresh milled treats to like last my family through the week. Because I think I might start having like one day a week where I just do like a ton of fresh milled grains just to kind of make the week a little smoother. So yeah, that's kind of all of like the changes I've made when it comes to our grocery budget that hopefully will help us get it like under $12.50. Because yeah, it's very easy for us to go over on groceries. And even things like diapers, the times where we would go and have to buy diapers would just always kind of make us go over. I am excited to like see what we can get our budget to this month, but we'll see. Anyways, next, gifts fund. That's another thing. I feel a lot more comfortable just saying no to things. And even like, we were just in, a big wedding where, we had to like buy clothing for literally everyone in the family. And I feel like I'm kind of at the point where I feel confident enough just saying like no. Not to that. I'm glad we did that. That was my sister's wedding. But anything else going forward, if there's like some event that requires us to spend a certain amount of money, just saying like, no, sorry, we're not going to that. And I feel pretty confident doing that. All of that being said, I have our gifts fund, and for that I do 50. One thing I'm honestly really inspired by is my friend. She is amazing at like thrifting people gifts, but it's always like the sweetest, cutest gift. And she probably like saves so much money doing it that way. So that is something I definitely want to like be better at, is if we have, maybe someone's birthday coming up that we want to get them a gift, just trying to like be very thoughtful and thrift it instead of just like doing the most convenient thing. But then also it is my son's birthday this month or next month, the month that I'm doing this budget for. But for my son Sadler, like I usually don't do like a big party with family until they're about 3. And he's turning 2. So I plan to keep it very low key, maybe do like a little special dinner. For him, I do want to get him like a couple gifts. So I did include a budget of $50. We'll see if we actually spend that. Yeah, we have birthdays to think about for the next couple months. I do want to show you one thing I made, and it's kind of like a change that I'm making too. This is kind of like, I feel like a trendy thing right now, but it's honestly a trend that I can totally get behind. But the idea of, instead of doing like themed birthdays for each kid where you buy specific decorations, whether it's like Paw Patrol or Princess or something like that, just having special like handmade decorations from Mama that we pull out for everyone's birthday. So that's something I've been working on right now. I'll show you how it looks so far. Okay, so I'm making one of those, I'm sure you've seen them, like happy birthday banners. And I've been sewing it, and it's nice because I already had everything except I just bought some fabric, and also the fabric was on sale at Hobby Lobby, so I literally spent like $15 on fabric, and this should hopefully last us like maybe the rest of our lives. I don't know. So far I have Happy Bert. So today I'm hoping to finish the birthday, and then I also want to make individual names for my children as well. So it'll be like hung up with ribbon, and it'll say like Happy Birthday, and then I'm gonna make one for Florence that says Florence, and then like each of my children's names, and then incorporate some of like the neutral fabrics that I got for like the happy birthday sign into their names, but then also a fabric that they choose. So Florence picked out like some pink fabric at the store the other day. But yeah, I'm like super excited about this. I have like much more ideas. I've also seen one where they do like something similar to this, but instead they make like balloons out of fabric. It's just great because yeah, I only spent like $15 on fabric, and then I already had like polyfill from when I've like crocheted things in the past for them. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And it's also like so easy. Like I'm not someone with like amazing sewing experience, and it's like super easy for me. So you could definitely do it. Another thing I do for birthdays to like make it feel special, which I feel like I'm kind of going off topic right now, but I love to make them like cinnamon rolls on their birthday. I let them pick out like what dinner they want, make them what dessert they want, whether they want like a cake or cupcakes or, you know, ice cream or cookies, whatever. But yeah, I feel like just doing everything homemade just saves a lot of money. So I'm just really excited about this. And there's a lot of like other ideas that I want to do for future birthdays, and just like have this like box of like, these are our birthday decorations that we get out every year, and they're just sentimental to our family. They're all so excited about it. So that makes me happy. Next is gym membership. So I still have mine for $25, and then my husband has his for $16. That's just not something that we're gonna change. We both go to the gym like at least 4 times a week or something. And I feel like they're also like really cheap gym memberships. So then next for car insurance, it says $180, which it went up again, which is so annoying. I feel like they just raise it all the time. And then for gas, I budgeted about $200, but I really don't think we ever go over that or really even near it. My husband drives a Prius, which is funny because like he's like a really big guy, but he drives a really small car. And then I also included $60 for oil changes just in case he needs to do that. I don't know if he does this month, but I just put it there just to be safe. I put $75 for fun money. So this just includes things like we have a theater near us that does like dollar showings in the summer. So that's something we could use it on. We have like an indoor gymnastics place that lets the kids use their stuff, and that would be like $15 for my whole family. So if we want to use it on that, or like we don't have a budget for eating out just because we really don't eat out hardly ever. But if we ever do, we could use like our fun money for that. We'll usually just get like Mexican and keep it really cheap. Miscellaneous, I put $200 because there's just always little things that come up that just really don't go in any category, random little things. And then next I have Spotify, which is $14. We could get rid of that if we really needed to, but it is really convenient and nice to have. Even for just like my children playing the songs that go with their homeschool curriculum, or for me when I go to the gym, or even just like listening to music around the house, it's just really nice to have. And then the last thing is sinking funds. So for that, I have $279. I've talked about sinking funds in my last couple budgeting videos, so you can go watch that if you would like to. There are some things in there that I'm like, okay, maybe we should have like some discussions on whether we want to keep doing this or putting money towards this. But if you don't know, sinking funds are basically where you just like save money every month throughout the year to go towards big expenses. So like last video, I talked about how I added our homeschool curriculum to it, because that's like a big expense that happens once a year that you can kind of make sure you're saving money for throughout the year. So it's not just like a big expense out of nowhere. You would divide that, like if it's $1,200, then each month you would save $100 to go towards homeschool curriculum. and yeah, each thing. So our sinking funds total comes to $279, and that brings our total for everything minus our tithe to $4,612, which I feel like is pretty good. I would love to see it under 4,500, but you know, under 5 is like pretty much our goal that we have in mind. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you would like to see a whole budgeting series. I've thought about like taking you to the grocery store and showing you what I get for our groceries that week, or you know, a week of dinners on a budget, or lunches or breakfast, comparing Costco and Aldi, talking about cloth diapering, thrifting my children's wardrobe, or just talking about things that we like don't buy in general just to save money. So let me know if any of that interests you. Also in the past, I've done videos on like things I'm not buying this year, which I need to check, but I think I've actually been pretty good at it. I remember one was no clothes, and that amazingly has come at the same time as the new Flora thing. So I have been able to get clothes through them, but at the same time, praise the Lord, has not cost our family any money. And then I think I also said no thrifting, which I think I cheated on that one a little bit, but it was like worth it. You know, it was really cute things. So that is one thing, is I try not to go to the thrift store unless I have like specific things in mind that we need. But yeah, and then I think I also said like no starting new projects until I finish the last. Maybe I haven't been the best on that one because of this, but this is like so worth it. I don't know. Okay, maybe I need to go watch that video and remind myself of all the things I said I wouldn't do this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.